So between the 1700s until the early 1900s, a quite large number of designs and proposals were put forward for helicopters. So many of these designs and proposals, some of which were very grandiose, never progressed beyond the initial concept, just like Leonardo da Vinci's design. Additionally, because of the lack of engine suitable power to weight ratio, all of the helicopters built up 1907 were essentially toys or large models. So, power was derived from a number of sources such as electric motors, clock springs, and elastic boards. So, in some cases, rotors were powered by steam jets at the end of each rotor blade. The first successful helicopter steam-driven model was built by an Englishman, Phillips, in 1842. The model managed in an uncontrolled flight across the two fields. So, in history of the helicopter, year 1100 Chinese flying top was invented. In 1483, Leonardo da Vinci's helicals airscrew were invented but never been made in real life. 1784, Launay and Benevenus feather model was invented. So basically, most of the designs in 1800s or lower than 1800s were just designed or very grandiose and never been proposed. So 1843, Sir George Cayley's steam-powered model. 1907, Paul Camus' first man-carrying helicopter. So 1916, Istvan Petrozzi and Theodor von Karman's tethered helicopter. 1923, Juan de Serva's Autogyro. 1936, Foch Achilles FA-61, the first successful helicopter. 1939, the very well-known Sikorsky VS-300, the first practical helicopter in the US.
It all began in China, around 400 BC, with a simple toy known as Chinese top or a bamboo couple. As you can see on the slide, it consisted with a stick attached to a propeller. By spinning the stick rapidly between your palms, you generated lift. While it was just a toy, it demonstrated the fundamental principle of the rotor blade, that a spinning surface can move air downward and push the object upward. So this toy eventually traveled to Europe, where it fascinated Renaissance thinkers and provided that vertical flight wasn't just magic, it was physics. By the late 15th century, the dream moved from toy to technical drawings. The most famous example is Leonardo da Vinci's Ariel screw from 1483. Da Vinci theorized that a screw-shaped line and sail, if rotated at high speed, would bear into air like a screw into wood. Although he never built a working version, mostly because he lacked a modern engine, his sketches are considered the first design of a true vertical takeoff aircraft. Moving into the 18th and 19th centuries, inventors like Launoy and Bienvenu in 1784 and later Sir George Cayley began using more advanced materials like pin and spring loading mechanisms. Cayley in particular realized that the missing link wasn't the shape of the blade, but the power source, light enough to lift its own weight. These two slides show us that the helicopter wasn't invented in a day. It was a 2,000-year evolution from a bamboo toy to the complex machine we see today. Thank you.
So for this slide, we look at the earliest attempts at helicopter development when inventors were still experimenting with the idea of vertical flight. One important contributor was Viscount Gustave de Ponton d'Amécourt from France, who in 1863 created a small steam-propelled helicopter model. Although it was only a model and could not carry a person, it proved that rotating blades powered by an engine could produce lift. This experiment helped establish the basic principles of helicopter flight. Another major milestone shown here is Paul Cornu, who in 1907 became the first to successfully fly in a helicopter. His aircraft achieved a short but controlled liftoff, marking the first manned helicopter flight. These early efforts were limited by weak engines and poor control systems, but they laid the groundwork for future helicopter innovation. So for the next slide, this slide highlights major advancements in helicopter development during the early 1990s, when stronger engines allowed more ambitious designs. Between 1909 and 1910, Igor Sikorsky built two helicopter machines, one powered by a 24 horsepower Anzani engine. Although these early helicopters did not achieve sustained flight, they helped Sikorsky gain valuable experience in rotorcraft engineering. Another important figure was the Marquis de Pescara, an Argentinian inventor working in Paris, who designed a helicopter with two contra-rotating biplane rotors. His aircraft was powered by a much stronger 170 horsepower Laron engine, which improved lift and stability. These developments showed how increased engine power and better rotor design were essential steps towards modern helicopters.
The first picture shows an early rotary wing aircraft from the 1930s era. This is the C-30 Autogyro flown by Juan de la Cerva. In 1928, he became the first rotary wing pilot to cross the English Channel. This flight proved that rotary wing aircraft could fly safety and stability over long distances. The second picture shows a helicopter designed by Anton Flittner, a German aeronautical engineer. His early helicopter models were powered by a 160 horsepower Siemens Husky SH-4A radial engine. One of his designs reached a top speed of 93 miles per hour and the service ceiling of 10,800, showing improvements in helicopter speeds and altitude capability. And the third picture shows the Igor Sikorsky flying the VS-300 in 1940, which is considered the first successful helicopter prototype. It was powered by a 75 horsepower Lycoming engine and used tail rotors for anti-torque and direction control. Later version used a 90 horsepower engine and removed the second tail rotor, forming the basic helicopter design used today.
So this helicopter is the Sikorsky R4, the world's first helicopter to be produced in large numbers. It was designed by Igor Sikorsky and first used operationally in 1944 during a rescue mission in Burma. The R4 was powered by a 180 horsepower engine and could carry one passenger at a maximum speed of about 82 miles per hour. Although limited in performance, it proved that helicopters could perform vertical takeoff, landing, and rescue missions, making it a turning point in aviation history. So, this slide highlights the early work of Lawrence Bell and the Bell Aircraft Corporation. Although the company was founded in 1935, its first successful helicopter flight occurred in 1943 with a Bell Model 30. A key innovation was the stabilizer bar, designed by Arthur Young, which greatly improved flight stability and control. These early Bell helicopters influenced later designs and played an important role in pilot training and helicopter development after World War II. So this image shows a wide range of modern helicopters developed by Airbus for civil, military, and experimental use. Civil helicopters are used for emergency medical services, transport, and law enforcement, while military variants support combat, surveillance, and logistics missions. So, this slide also includes technology demonstrators that represent future helicopter designs, focusing on higher speed, improved efficiency, and urban air mobility. These aircraft reflect how helicopter technology has evolved from simple early models into highly advanced and versatile flying machines. So in conclusion, helicopter design has progressed significantly from the early Sikorsky and Bell designs of the 1940s to the advanced helicopters in service today. Continuous improvements in aerodynamics, stability, propulsion, and materials have made helicopters essential for rescue, defense, and transportation missions around the world. So thank you.